Hello, everyone. This is Barbara Iris Alsu of Parental World Knowledge. And thank you for joining us today. We're going to be doing more watercolor painting. If you haven't been watching us, you do need to have a canvas paper. I would recommend. It absorbs the watercolor a lot better. You know, it's just like a regular canvas, but it doesn't have the backboard with it. And you have to also have excellent watercolor sets. Don't use the cheap ones from a dollar store. Get non-toxic. I wouldn't recommend it for anyone if they're toxic paints. And the paints look so much better with the ones that are non-toxic. And in addition, you need to have good brushes. And I would have different sizes, you know, professional artist brushes. You know, I have some thick ones, I have thin ones. You really need to get from the artist store again. And you also need, this is an artist sponge, it's a natural sponge. And if you put too much water and too much paint, and it starts to run, you just put this down on the paper and write up. And first you're going to need to do a line drawing. You could just use a regular pencil, but you do need to have a good eraser. It should be from an art store. And you're also going to need color pencils. When you finish your layering, you're going to need all kinds of colors to match as close as you can to what you just painted. So you should have all these things on hand, and you can contact Jerry's Artist Outlet, and it is online, and you'd be able to get 10% as a student of mine. You are watching Barbara Alsu, who's the president of Artist Barbara Alsu Fine Art Studio, and I'm giving you the lessons on our show, Parental World Knowledge. No affiliation. And you're going to have to pay. You can't get 10% if it's a sale item. You have to, you know, pay whatever it is a sale item. But if there is not a sale item, you can get 10% off. So that's what you'll have to say, that you're my student and that you can get the 10% off if something's not on sale. And they have the finest products. And if you ever have any problems, they don't hassle you to take anything back if you decided, you know, it's not for you. All right. Line drawing if you don't have one. And as you can see, I just outlined, you know, the flowers, and I didn't fill everything in. You can see the leaves and all. It's obviously, you're going to be painting the rest in. So you just want to do a line drawing and maybe some lines with it. But do not put too much, because you're going to paint the rest, as I said. And you don't want to have a lot of pencil all over your canvas. You know, this, you're going to put a few layers or more, depending on, you know, what you're painting. And then you're going to be, once it all dries, putting on the color pencil. You do have to make sure that each section you're doing is dry before you paint. You know, like you paint one layer and then just turn the page to, you know, you can move it to shift it like this, you know, if you want to paint another section. And be sure it's dry before you put the pencil crayon on, because you do not want to put all this pencil on if it's still wet. It's going to start smearing and ruining. So you have to have it dry. And it dries quite quickly. Watercolor is one media that dries quite quickly, so there's not a problem there. And don't worry about being perfect. Just enjoy what you're painting. You don't have to do flowers like I'm doing. Do anything that you want to do. And if you need to have you don't have the imagination to figure out what you want to draw, you can use different props or even go in nature. I've once painted horses that were live horses, and it took a few times, to paint the horses. So, I had to draw it quickly because horses are moving. School, and it was in advanced arts. So if you're drawing something or doing something, unless you're really quick at using a live model that could move like a horse, I wouldn't recommend that. It might be too difficult because you're trying to capture this, and then painting it all too. I mean, you might not be able to get the horse as fast as I'm very quick at doing my painting, and I was able to do that even as a kid. And if you don't have that ability, you could even use some props and things. You could always use figurines and different things. So you could always use something that is a prop. So don't worry about doing what I like. As I said, do what you like, and your painting will be the best. All right, so let's start. Again, I'm going to do some more layers on my flowers. And another thing you need, since not all palettes have white in it, most of them don't, you need a liquid white. And I would suggest, like I said, Jerry's Artist Outlet. This has lasted a few years. They have good quality paints that it's still okay for a few years. Okay. Now I put the white, and I want to have a beige. So I'm going to put some brown. And if you need help with coloring, come to our studio. Call us 973-736-1637. You can have a live art lesson be on YouTube. And there's no cost. It is free. And if you prefer a private lesson, we have a wonderful thing, Shop for a Cause from Macy's, August 29th. And you can get one free art or poetry lesson, one free piece of antique jewelry. And I have many antiques and rings and different things and bracelets I've made. And, I just would really, for $5 donation, I would definitely do this. If I wasn't doing it, I would definitely do this. I would, no question. And you can get as much as 30% off in any Macy's store. So even if you had to go on vacation, that particular has the Shop for a Cause. And it's all day long. And you might even win $500 gift card. And we donate 50% to Epilepsy Foundation with every ticket that we get a donation for. And the great thing is, too, you get as much as 30% and even most sale items. So it's a win situation for $5. And it's tax deductible since we're a 501(c) classified organization. And so is Epilepsy Foundation. And I thank you for listening, and that you can call us. And again, it's 973-736-1637. Thank you. I told everybody that I got a new wonderful puppy, and his name is Plantanos, and he is just so wonderful and special. He is so loving. I never saw such affection from a little puppy. He's only 4 days old, and he was such a good boy yesterday when I taped my show. He did not whimper. I told him, you be a good boy because I have to do a show and I'm teaching art. And I said, if not, I'm going to tell everybody that, you're just a few day old puppy and you're making all this noise. And so he just listened and he did not make a whimper. And today he went out with my son's dear friend, and he had a good time. Took a little ride in his truck. He happens to love dogs, so I entrusted that he'll be good and take care of them. But we don't see eye to eye on how you take care of a dog. And I told him to take a bottle of water, take his little blanket, because this is a part Chihuahua, and he's so small. And I think he might be Labrador, but I'm not really sure. But he's so tiny because he's only 4 days old. And he has air conditioner blasting. He doesn't like it. He's from a warm climate. He came from Dominican Republic. And they have so many puppies there. And, this is kind of sad that they were just running wild. They don't have, it seems that he wasn't from a shelter. He just was a dog that, comes up to the hotel and he was starving and wanted some food. He was so well behaved. And he is really brilliant, this dog. And my son paid the government for, adopting him. They even gave him a little passport to come. It was so cute. He has his little passport. I never heard of that. It is adorable. And it's lovely to vacation there. It was everything included, even the plane, all the meals, the beautiful thing like that. It looks like a little palace, and each person on the beach has their own little tent, and it's very, very fashionable tent. It's not like a typical, tent that you camp with. It's very, very luxurious. And I couldn't believe, entertainment, everything is at the hotel. And it was only, I think he said everything included is $890. I think it was $800 and $900. No, $890. I meant to say. And he kept me up all night. Plantanos, my dog. I'm so tired at this point. But anyway, but I just love him so much, even though he was separated from his sister because my son's girlfriend took the other dog. But I just think this dog is so special. And I'm not just saying that because I'm his mother. I'm saying it because I had a few dogs and experience with one for 25 years. And so a lot of time with dogs. And this dog, in one day, he learned to make outside, learned to give me his paw, learned to roll over and sit down. I just can't believe that he could learn so fast. It was just one day with me. And so I'm really so thrilled. I got this beautiful puppy the second day of his life. And he came here. My son surprised me, and I was just delighted. But it's important, that whoever, I mean, I just feel whoever would, want to be with my dog, and, they have to have the same belief of how to take care of the dog, even though I know he loves dogs so much. But he needed to have water in a truck. It's such a hot day. Maybe he did stop somewhere and got him some water, but I just felt in an emergency, and then he needed his blanket because he gets cold. He's a little chihuahua. Right now, he's not grown to, it takes a long time, even if you're pure Labrador, to get bigger. And I think he is because somebody I know, and I mentioned this yesterday, has active, and he is extremely active. I can't even believe how active he is. This is like one of the most active dogs, and I don't want to pull, with his collar and chain because he's so small, little teeny neck, and I just let him pull me because I don't want to pull back on it. You can't for a little puppy like that. And what's very good, you need to have a clock, but when my son came home, it was too late with the dog. I didn't have a wind-up clock. I used to have one, but it was many years since I had my last dog because my father got too attached, and he couldn't tolerate losing. When my dog passed away after 25 years, he couldn't tolerate losing that dog. He took it too hard. So we didn't have a dog for 20 years. I was missing having a dog. My son even wanted a dog. And it's interesting enough, when I first told him about having a dog now, I mean, he's in his 20s, he was saying, well, I have to go to work. I don't really have time. And just didn't seem interested. But then when he heard how much I wanted a dog, and then he saw how this dog was, incredible dog. He sat like a little gentleman asking for some food. And he didn't jump on the table, didn't jump on them, and he's just so adorable. And I have a picture of him. I put it on LinkedIn, and I just adore him. I also tweeted it. I put it on Facebook. I just adore him. Little black and white dog. Has the cutest little eyes. They just gleam. They just gleam, his little eyes. And he's friendly to everybody. Even a strange child, I first he pet him, and he liked it. He didn't growl, he didn't jump on him. He was a little boy, and he loved the attention that the dog was giving him, and vice versa. The dog loved it. So I'm just so delighted, I have this dog, but I didn't really like how he was a friend of my son's. He didn't listen to what I was saying. And even when he came back, I saw the dog had to go to the bathroom. He took him to the bathroom, but he had to go. And he didn't believe me. He says, no, you don't have to go. I says, yes, see, he's ready to. He's leaning down. I'm an expert with pets, and I was right. He went right outside, and he made more. I mean, I know him already. 2 days, but this is, I was around him nonstop, the only one taking care of him for 2 days. And I had to stay up 2 nights. First, we didn't have the clock, and then there is on TV. There's, you can get a ticking clock on your. There's an app for it, and it costs $2, but it's well worth it because it helped him, go to sleep by hearing the sound of the ticking of the clock. It's like a mother's heart, like his mother's heart. So it's very comforting and very soothing. And so, it did help. He slept a little, but still, he was missing his sister. He used to sleep right on her like a pillow. Well, I decided I'm going to get him a playpen because he likes laying on top of his sister. And if he had something soft and cushiony, and then I'll put newspaper down on top of the playpen. I think that's a logical thing to do. And I bought him a toy that's it's like a pillow. It's a little kitten. And that's what my son bought. I go, I can't believe that's what he got him. You don't want a dog to have animosity towards a little kitten. You want their to have love and kindness. But that's what he bought. But he puts his head on it and he doesn't bite it. He has a biting toy of a tire. So there's the one I did. So now we have 3 layers. I'm getting somewhere. And even a bandana is, the little scarf that you put on a dog. That's good. We have a pretty big one because my dog is so small. It's going to be pretty, covering his whole body like a blanket. And I said to take that even, if you're not taking the blanket, take that. He didn't take it today. I don't know. I was like too worried. He just said, I said to him to do that, and I thought he was going to do it, and he just went right out the door with the dog, and it was too late. His car was right there, so he took off, and I would definitely will not until he's older, and if I don't see, this friend of my son's listening to me, I'm not letting him take the dog. No way. In this heat, you have to do the right thing. Give the dog plenty of water. You need to have, if a dog gets cold, you need to have a blanket or that scarf. And it's very serious because I know even a German Shepherd that was a full-grown Shepherd. Recently, it was just raining, and he got ill and had to be rushed to the hospital. And he was in the hospital a long time. He almost died. You can't play around. This is a tiny little puppy, just a few days old. So, I just told him, the friend of my son, that it's too soon, just too soon. And you have to listen to what I'm saying because I don't want this dog to get sick. Okay. Watercolor layers. And I'm just doing gentle strokes, as you see. You know, I'm not putting much force in what I'm doing. And I really love painting. It's one of the nicest things in fine art to do, to learn to paint. And it has been proven, I've said this in other shows, that painting, anything with fine arts, is going to help your brain function. I've always said that, and now it's been proven medically, and that's something. So, you don't have to have depression. You can just, you know, you want to improve your brain function, your memory. And it's absolutely necessary for everyone to do some art. It's so much fun too. I can't wait till Platinos is a little bit bigger, and I want to paint Platinos. Nice picture. I would do it now, but he doesn't sit still too often. He's, you know, part Labrador, so he is very, very active. Unbelievably active. And if you have a small dog like a Chihuahua, you know, he's part Chihuahua, as I said, you have to make sure the collar, even though you don't want to put it too tight on a little few-day-old puppy, you need to put it very tight. My dog is like Houdini. I put it on quite snug, and he got out of it. And I just went, and I have long arms, and I just grabbed him. But I'm telling you, it scared me. So I've been putting it really snug, not to worry, and he hasn't gotten out. But you see, you have a small dog. And it's interesting, you know, I wanted a dog of either German Shepherd or Collie. I never wanted a small dog. It's just my own preference. And I really wanted a dog a little older that was trained, but I have, you know, he's only a few days old, so I had to do all the training myself. So it's been difficult, I admit, but fortunately I have a lot of experience in taking care of dogs, many years, so I'm able to handle it. But it's been definitely difficult. I can't say that it isn't. So be prepared if you're going to get a young, and like I said, I didn't know my son was buying the dog. This was a total surprise. But I wouldn't trade him for anything. I love this puppy so. so fun. Okay, so now I've got one more to do. One more page one. And then another one. The third layer. I'm getting somewhere. There's another layer. Third layer. And as you notice, I was doing the light colors first, so it's best to do it because if your colors happen to bleed into the other colors this way, you wouldn't have a dark one going into the light one, so you have white or beige. So that's why I do it first. Here's another one. I just want to say a prayer for everyone around the world, anyone who needs it, a miraculous healing prayer, a peace, and good health, strength, and spirit. I hope that you don't need the prayer right now, but God heals 100%. I'm just doing the prayer with you to God. You would have to pray with me to God. And even if it's not today, anytime that you do, just say, I'm praying with Barbara Elsu to dear God. And if you know of somebody else that needs it, it doesn't have to be necessarily you, but you could, say a prayer for them if they're unable to. Amen. Okay, get some more shaping up here. I did a third layer of this one. Here it is. Another one. Hi, David. I'm on the air.
Where's my puppy?
I told you, and I'm on the air. I'm on the air. I can't discuss it right now. But I told you already, and I'm not talking about it now, so please.
He's not here?
What did I just say? I'm on the air. I can't talk now. I want to finish my show. And then I'll tell you. Well, this is a reality show. This is a reality. My son doesn't take no for an answer. Third layer. Okay, everybody. Here's the third layer. So I will see you tomorrow, and I thank you for tuning in. And please tell other people to also watch us. And they have to be 18 or more. And thank you so much. Bye now.